Hey everybody, we're gonna do a really fun workout routine today. You don't need any equipment other than a yoga mat and a stretch band, which is optional. The band helps you feel more resistance, but you could definitely do all the movements without. We're gonna start by getting down to the ground and placing that band just a few inches above the knee. Come into a reverse tabletop position. And we're gonna start off with some glute kickbacks, bringing that knee in towards the chest and then out to a full extension. We're gonna start off really slow. And then we're gonna hold that leg back there, tuck the toe in and elevate that supporting knee to add some intensity to the movement. And then continue doing your glute kickbacks. You're gonna hold the leg out there. Bring everything down slowly. We're gonna go ahead and reassess our posture, and then we're gonna move on to the other leg, doing the exact same movement, starting out with a simple glute kickback. Slow and easy. Hold the leg out, tuck the toe in, elevate that supporting knee, and continue to do your glute kickbacks. Hold the leg out and bring everything down slow and easy. Give yourself a moment. Reassess your posture. We're gonna take that front leg out into a full extension again, and we're gonna hold it in place. We're then slowly gonna start to pulse it up. Take your time. And then we're gonna go ahead and start to gradually pick up the pace. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Now we're gonna hold that leg steady in place. We're gonna add the arms, bending down one elbow at a time, extending both elbows. I had to reposition my band here, sorry guys, but we're jumping right back in, bending each elbow one by one and extending the elbows. So the leg stays in place, the upper body is doing all of the work. You take your time, bend, bend, extend, extend. Good work. Other side, same exact thing. The leg comes out to a full extension before you're ready to start pulsing it out. Slowly at first, and then you gradually start to pick up the pace. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Come to a full extension, hold it, and then add the upper body movement, bending one elbow at a time and extending one elbow at a time. And slowly bring that leg back down. Good work, everybody. Now we're gonna sit up and we're gonna reposition our bands. Take them off of your thighs and go ahead and place them around that top part of your foot towards the middle. Now we're gonna get back into that reverse tabletop position. And we're gonna go ahead and do our extensions with the bands around our feet. I'll turn so you can actually see me better from the side. You're doing glute kickbacks, but now you have the bands around that top part of your feet. You can tuck your toes into the mat to give you more of a support. Pick up the pace here. Start doing them a little more quickly. Now we're gonna hold that extension out there, and we're gonna start to pulse it out, nice and slow at first, and then pick it up. Pulse, pulse. Good work. Now we're gonna hold that extension, and we're gonna bring the knee out towards the side now, and then fully extend it back. So the knee comes out a little more towards the side rather than straight up towards your chest. Nice and slow, and then we pick it up. Good work. Now on the last one, we're gonna hold, and we're actually gonna pulse the knee up. It's like a fire hydrant movement, but with the band adding resistance. Good work. Pulse, 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 and release everything back down. Take a moment for yourself here. Take a little rest if you need. We're gonna move on to the other side, and we're gonna do the exact same thing. So the leg comes out into a full extension, and then in towards the chest. Nice and slow at first, and then we are gradually gonna pick up the pace. On the last one here, we hold it out and we pulse, pulse, pulse. Good work. Hold that leg out. Now bring it out towards the side. The knee bends out and then straight back. It bends out towards the side and then straight back. Nice and slow. Now on the last one, we leave the knee bent out towards the side, and then we're gonna open and close that shape. It's like a fire hydrant, but with the band, making it a little harder, adding a little bit of resistance. Pulse, pulse, pulse. And slowly release everything down. Take a moment for yourself. Take a little rest if you need to. We're gonna come back up into a seated position. We're gonna reposition that band slightly over the knees, just a few inches over. We're gonna lay on our side. You can rest your head on your hand. Keep the elbow to the mat. Bring the knees in. We're gonna open and close that shape. Nice and slow in the beginning. Your toes are touching. Your heels are not. Nice and slow. On the last one, you're gonna leave the legs open and you're gonna pulse, 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 trying to get an extra inch of movement every time, if possible. And bring everything back down. Now we're gonna elevate the feet adding some intensity to the movement, and we're gonna do the same exact thing. We're gonna open. We should have a further range of motion now with those feet up. Toes are touching, heels are separate. Open, open, open. On the last one, we're gonna go ahead and leave them open, and we're gonna pulse, pulse, pulse the legs apart. And slowly bring everything back together. We're gonna switch over and we're gonna do the exact same thing on the other side, starting with everything down, feet down, knees down. We're gonna do the easier version first. Toes are touching, heels are apart. Open and close your shape. You're gonna pulse yourself open. And you're gonna hold for a second before bringing everything back together. You're gonna put those feet up in the air, toes are pointed. You're gonna open your shape and close back up. Nice and slow in the beginning. Open your shape and shut it back up. And on that last one, we're gonna open and we're gonna pulse. Good work. And we're gonna hold and then slowly bring everything back together. Good work. Take a moment for yourself if you need to. We're gonna get into our bridge position, bringing the feet in closer to your backside. We're gonna slowly go ahead and bridge up to your highest bridge position that you can reach. And then you're gonna go ahead and tap the foot out and back in. Focused movement. Tap it out, tap it in, tap it out, tap it in. Constantly focusing on your core, constantly making sure your bridge is actually high enough and you haven't dropped yourself back down. Actively engage and actively ask yourself if you're dropping. Reassess your position and make sure you're bringing yourself up as high as you can. We're doing the exact same thing with the other side. Nice and slow, the leg comes out and then it comes back in. Light little taps. Reassess your posture as you go. Don't allow your core to fall. Good work. We're gonna hold, and then we're going to slowly allow your back to melt back down onto the mat slowly. Good work. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get rid of that stretch band and set it aside for now because we're really not gonna use it for a while. And what we're gonna do is place both hands behind the nape of your neck, bring that front leg into a tabletop position while the back leg stays in place. You're gonna bring your head, neck, and shoulders up off the mat and then give yourself an extra inch at the top. So like a little pulse at the top. Good job. Now we're gonna hold it at the top, and we're actually gonna start to pulse from here, picking up the pace. Good work. Now we're gonna incorporate a little turn, kind of turning your body into that knee. You don't have to make contact, but just turn towards the knee. And it's really two movements. You're picking yourself up, and then at the top, you're making that turn. We're gonna start to pulse, bringing yourself to the top, and then pulsing in towards that knee. Pulse, pulse, pulse. And it's so challenging. And bring everything back down slowly. We're gonna do the exact same thing, but with the other side. So that back leg comes up into tabletop now. Hands go back behind the nape of the neck. You're gonna bring yourself up and then give yourself an extra couple of inches at the top. Like a little pulse at the top, nice and slow. Now we're gonna pick it up here. Good work. We're gonna hold. Now we're gonna add that turn towards that knee. Again, your body from the waist down should be silent, or you should make an effort to not move it. Good work. Pulse in towards that knee. Your elbows stay wide. You don't have to bring your elbows in or put them close together. You keep them as wide as you need to. Good work. Give yourself a moment if you need. Hug it out. Then we're gonna get up into a seated position, and we're gonna go ahead and position ourselves towards the center of the mat. We're gonna bring the legs up into a tabletop position, and then you're gonna go ahead and slowly drop them down, pick them back up, and come back around, dropping them to the other side. Nice and slow. Good work. We're gonna extend the legs, hold for a second, and then bring everything back in and get up. Good work, everybody. Everything's together. We're gonna separate the toes, keeping the heels together, and then we're gonna kick our left leg out to the side. And then you're gonna turn the foot to face forward towards me, bringing your arms up over your head and leaning away from that fully extended leg. We're gonna start to pick up the pace a little bit. Good work. And we're getting ready to go ahead and pulse it out. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Good work. Bring that arm down to your hip. Now we're gonna bring that leg up slightly. It will be challenging. There's a lot of balance. You're gonna try to do circles, keeping that leg straight, keeping it elevated, and keeping the toes pointed. Big circles. It is very challenging. You're gonna go ahead and reverse the direction of those circles. It is very difficult to balance, so if you need to bring that toe down to make contact with the ground so you can recenter yourself, please go ahead and do so. You're gonna go ahead and try to do tinier circles, which will be even more of a challenge. And then you're gonna go ahead and try to reverse the direction of those tiny circles. You could definitely see me. I was having a hard time with this exercise, but it will definitely help with any future balance issues, doing it consistently. We're gonna work through the other side, and we're going to do the exact same sequence all over again. Good work. Get ready to pulse it out here. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Good work. And then we're gonna go ahead and find our balance. Try to get that leg up, toe pointed, and try to do some circling. That supporting knee stays soft and slightly bent. Reverse those circles. Now go ahead and see if you can make those circles really, really small. Now try reversing the direction of those tiny circles. And bring everything back down. Good work. Now bringing the arms up and over your head, bend the knees, hinge forward at the waist. Shoot that leg back, starting with your left leg. Keeping the knees straight, elevate your leg. I'm gonna pick up the pace. Now you're gonna hold it back there, elevate it off the ground, and you're gonna try to pulse it up. without bringing that foot back down if you can, if possible. Again, it's very challenging. It's one of those balance exercises. Now hold that foot up and bring everything back together. We're going to do the exact same thing with the right side now. Getting into position, send that right foot back. Knee is straight. Ooh, you could definitely see me struggling with this one. Good work. Again, this is without bending the knee. You're gonna try to keep it elevated and try to pulse it up. Good work. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Try to hold it up for a second and then bring everything back together. That is it for the day. That concludes our workout. I realized that was extremely challenging, but I am so glad that you decided to join me today. See you next time.